Let me say something you might not want to admit out loud. When it comes to wellness and non toxic living, there are three types of people. They are the ones who do it, they're the ones who recognize it, and then they're the ones who don't care. And if you're listening to me right now, you're probably not in the I don't care lane, or at least I hope you're not. But you might be living with someone who is. So today I am going to break down these three types when it comes to our wellness and how each one thinks and what each one tends to miss and how to move forward with calm and a confidence in your home and your health. Okay? As you listen, message me and tell me which one of these you think you are. Let me know. I'm a doer, I'm a recognizer, or you're just that I'm fine girl, because I want to know who I'm really talking to. And let me add this, we're all on a wellness journey, whether we admit it or not, because the minute we get sick, everything else takes a backseat. You know that feeling, the one time you catch a cold and it wipes you out. And even the flu, if you've ever got that, it can take your whole week, and suddenly everything that you plan to do is on pause because your body is exhausted and it's not negotiating. And that's why this matters. Are you eating well, moving your body, maybe even reading labels and still thinking, I'm doing all the healthy things, so why do I still feel off? If that's you, you're in the right place. Welcome to Start Living Sustainable, the podcast where your health finally gets the foundation the other pillars need to work, because what you're exposed to in your home and on your body is quietly raising your toxic load and forcing your food and fitness to work harder than they should. Hi, I'm Cynthia, a non-toxic lifestyle strategist who learned the cost of exposure the long way, years before most women even know to look. Now you can start where I wish I could have, so your body can respond to the work you're already doing, not fight against it. Because when your foundation is supported, your sleep, hormones, clarity, and even your workouts finally catch up with your intentions without turning your life into a project. If you're ready, let's begin. Now, before we jump in, if you want help figuring out what's silently adding to your toxic load, I have a simple next step for you. Book a home and body reset session while spots are open. The link is in the show notes down below. And if you want the fastest path to clarity, this session is built for you because your audit scorecard, it's included inside the session, and you'll leave knowing your next best move without spiraling. Now, before we get into the three types, quick truth, I've been all three in different seasons of my life, so there's no shade here. I went from being totally unaware of any of this to trying everything to finally finding a steady, sustainable way to take control of my own health in my home. And I'm saying this because where you are right now isn't the problem. Exposure is. And this is your starting point. So let's get into the three types. As you listen, don't just think about which one you are. I want you to listen for the cost of staying where you are too long. The first one is the doer. Now, these are the women who don't just want to be healthy, they move like it. They're not perfect and they're not paranoid. They're just decided. They made that decision. Yes, they do read labels, and not because it's trendy, but because they refuse to unknowingly participate in their own exhaustion. They're the ones who eventually stop asking, is this worth it? And start asking, what is this costing me if I keep doing nothing? And what makes them different? They're not waiting for motivation. They're working from a place of conviction. But here's the flip side, because I'm not romanticizing them. They can be rigid, they can get burnt out, they can accidentally turn wellness into a religion if they're not careful, with rules and fears and judgment and all that. But here's the cost for the doer. When you're trying trend after trend and you're spending a lot of money and mental energy, and you still don't know what's actually working because nothing gets enough time to actually move the needle for you. So if you are a doer, I want you to hear this. Your job isn't to do more. Your job is to do less on purpose. So be patient with yourself long enough to see what's actually working. And I have a question for you. How do you know what's helping if you keep changing everything all at the same time? Now, if the doer's challenge is doing more at once, the next woman is different. She knows what's up, but she's stuck in the I know I should stage. These are the women who are aware. They're not asleep. They'll say things like, I know fragrance isn't great, or I've heard about endocrine disruptors. Or they'll even say things like, I really should switch out my cleaning products. They recognize there's a problem, but they haven't moved. And listen, it's not laziness. This is the most common thing I see in smart, capable women. You know enough to be concerned, but not enough to feel confident to do something about it. If you're the woman who thinks, I don't want to be extreme, I don't want to waste money, I don't have time to research every product, or I just want to know what actually matters for me, it's usually a mix of overwhelm, social friction, and decision fatigue. So you freeze. And here's the truth. The recognizer doesn't need more information. She needs a decision she can trust. Because what keeps her stuck isn't the lack of options, it's the fear of choosing the wrong starting point and realizing she spent time, money, and energy for nothing. So here's a question for you if you're a recognizer. How long have you been telling yourself, I know I should do something? Or what would it feel like to have someone look at your real life and tell you? Start here with confidence. Here's what I do for the recognizer in a way that keeps you moving in a calm, forward fashion. I help you identify your biggest exposure paths so that you can recognize what matters most to you and give you a simple sequence that fits your real life in this season so that you can stop spiraling and start making progress that you can feel. Not perfection, not pressure, progress that makes sense. And the cost of staying a recognizer too long is the cost of waiting while the symptoms, the stress, and the mental load keep stacking. If that's you, this is exactly why my home and body reset session exists. In 1 hour, I'll show you the exact first step for you. It's personalized so that you can get off the fence and move forward with your wellness journey with clarity. My question for you as a recognizer is, what would change in your energy, your sleep, your mood if you stopped guessing and finally knew your next best move? And then there's the third woman, the one who hears all of this and says, I'm good. Let's talk about her without judging her, okay? This is the part people avoid talking about because it sounds harsh, but you met her. You might love her. She might be a sister or a mother. You might even be her. She's not trying to be careless. She just feels fine. In her mind, it's, I'm not sick, life is moving, I'm doing what I can. And I'm not stressing about what I can't see because their priorities are different. Their awareness about the problem with everyday exposure may be low, or their coping mechanism may be avoidance. And sometimes you'll hear them say things like, everything causes cancer, or my grandma used bleach and lived to 97, or she'll say something like, you're doing too much, or stop being dramatic. But here's the hard pill. You can't convince someone who benefits emotionally from staying the same. People sometimes just protect their comfort more than their health. And if you're trying to drag them into your standards, you'll end up exhausted, resentful, and even spiritually off balance. So what do? Well, you lead quietly with receipts. You don't preach to them. You upgrade your living environment. You create boundaries in your home. And you have to maybe say, I'm not using that in my home. You don't argue with them. You just decide for yourself. And if you're living with someone who doesn't care, you're going to need to say this. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm asking you to respect the standard I'm setting for my body and our home. That's not a fight. That's leadership. And here's the cost of I don't care. It turns prevention into reaction. You may feel fine until you don't. And then you're forced to give your attention, your time, and your money to problems you could have reduced earlier. So whether that I'm fine woman is you or someone you love, ask yourself this. What would make this worth paying attention to now before you have to? Or where have you been trying to earn permission for changes you're allowed to make? So let's zoom out, because if you make this about products, you've missed the point. The real point isn't about products. Non-toxic living isn't a hobby, it's a mindset. It's the decision to stop outsourcing your health and well-being to others. Yes, you want to go see your doctor, but your health is yours. And yes, there will always be doers, recognizers, and the unbothered. But the goal isn't to label people. Truly, it isn't. The goal is to identify where you are, whatever season of life you're in, knowing that you can move one notch forward. So let's recap this. Here's what I want you to remember. Doers take action, but they can get burned out from trying too much all at once. Recognizers, they aren't stuck from not knowing, they're stuck from overwhelm. They just need a simple system. And the I'm fine mindset isn't moved by arguments. So if that's you, stay open. And if you live with someone with that kind of energy, lead with boundaries, not debates. And if you're ready to stop guessing and make a calm, strategic change in your life, you can go ahead and book a home and body reset session. The link is down below, and the audit score is included inside the session so that you can clearly see your next best move. You don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to do it with intention. And one good decision at a time, it adds up, because we are all on a wellness journey. And the question really is whether you're steering it or reacting to it. Thanks for listening to Start Living Sustainable. If this episode met you where you are, share it with a friend who might also need it as well. Your voice helps more women find the foundation they've been missing. Until next time, feeling lighter never goes out of style.